Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Mr. Montgomery again, and if this is your first time watching, welcome. If you're here all the time, welcome back. So today we're in Unit 9. I know you guys are seeing a totally blank screen and you're probably thinking, what on earth is going on? Well, I thought we would start off by maybe playing like a little game, okay? So I have 3 little steps, and I'm really curious to see what your answer is at the end of these 3 questions, okay? So you can write down your answer to this question at the very end of all 3, and you can use any space you want on your paper, or you can get a different piece of paper and write it on that if you like. Okay, so the first question is, think of all of your friends and picture them in your head. So take a second. You can go ahead and close your eyes if you need to. Just picture all of your friends in your head. All of them. Okay? Now keep them in there. Keep thinking of them. Don't let them leave. Okay? And next, now only think of your friends whose names start with the letter B. So think of all your friends, and if their name does not start with the letter B, if you only hear that B sound, then go ahead and they can leave your mind, okay? They can go ahead and go home. Only think of your friends now, out of all those friends, whose names start with the letter B. Their name starts with that B sound. All right? So you should have a smaller group of friends than what you started. And now here's the last question. Now think of the friend out of the friends that are left that you're thinking of, right? That are left in your head, whose name only has 4 or 5 letters in their name. Okay? So you were thinking of all your friends and you narrowed it down to only the friends whose names start with the letter B. And then out of those friends, which friend has a name that is only 4 or 5 letters long? Now, my answer to this was, and maybe this will help you out, I have a friend named Brian. So his name starts with a B. He's a friend of mine, and his name is only about 4 or 5 letters long. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I also have a friend named Brad. And his name starts with a B, and it's only 4 letters long. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might have a friend that has a different name that also starts with the letter B that you're thinking of right now. And everything we did right here, guess what? This is our lesson today. How cool is that? We're going to be doing little brain teasers throughout this lesson, and that's it. Like that's just fun stuff, man. We're going to be doing like little riddles. This is so fun. I'm so excited for this. All right, so let's go ahead and get our robot turtle book and open it up. Okay, so after you have your robot turtle book, make sure it's open to page 385, which I circled right down here, but maybe that is too small, so I'm just going to write it 385. This is our page number that you want to be on. If you're not on this page number, pause the video, hit the space bar, and once you get the page open, hit the space bar again to play it, and you will continue. Okay, so if the video is still playing, I'm going to guess that you're all set to go. Okay, so we're going to read this fun little riddle that this girl is giving us. And after we read each sentence, we're going to pause, we're going to think about what it actually means, and we're going to work through this riddle together. Okay, so I'm thinking of a secret number. So that's important. We are thinking of a number, not a letter. So please, please, please do not think that the answer is going to be the letter A, B, C, D, or maybe even X. Not going to happen. It is a number. They are telling us that. Okay, next. The number is greater than 20. So when we think of the word greater, we have to instantly think of the word big or bigger. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to circle the word bigger and draw a line from that to the word greater so we don't forget. Okay. And this number is also going to be less than 30. So when we think of the word less, when we hear that word, we have to think of the word small or smaller. Okay. And again, I'm just going to draw a little line from that word less to smaller so we don't forget about it. Okay. So it is greater than 20 and less than 30. So if we had a number line, so here's a cool way we can think about things. Gonna make a little bit more space right here. Okay, and you can also write this down on any free space that you have on your paper. So when we hear those words, greater than 20 and less than 30, we can make a very short number line, just like this. And you're going to see exactly where this is going in a second. So on one end of this number line, we are going to have the number 20. And on the other end, we're going to have the number 30. Okay, so we are looking for a number that's in between 20 and 30. So that's what they mean by it's greater than 20, it's bigger than 20, but it's less than 30. So it has to be in between. But we still don't know what number. We have a whole bunch of numbers in between. All right, so now that we know that the number is in between 20 and 30, what we can do is cross out any number that that doesn't fit in between these two. So if it's not going to be bigger than 20, we can get rid of it. So we're going to look for very small numbers. Like, do you think 19 is that going to be in between 20 and 30? No, it's not. So we're going to have to get rid of that one. Cross it out. There we go. And if you want to use a crayon for this, you can. Okay. So 19 was not in between 20 and 30, so we had to get rid of it. What about 27? Is that in between? It is, so we can't cross that one out. How about the number 14? Is that in between 20 and 30? No, because it's going to be way, way back there behind the 20. So it's not going to be anywhere on this little number line. So we can get rid of the number 14 too. Okay, what about the number 38? Is the number 38 going to be in between 20 and 30? No, it's going to be way over here, right? If this number line kept going, 38 would be way over here. And so that doesn't fit our little number line. So we have to get rid of that too. So we got rid of 14. We can get rid of 38. Man. So see how this list of numbers is getting smaller and smaller for us to pick from? Okay. So, all right, let's go up here. We have the number 6. Does the number 6 fit in between 20 and 30? No, not at all. It doesn't even have a tens place. It's a really tiny number. So it's not bigger than 20. So we have to get rid of that one too. Okay, what about 25? Can we do anything with 25? You know what? 25 would still fit on this number line in between 20 and 30, so we're going to keep it. How about 22? Yeah, 22 would be in between 20 and 30, so we're going to keep that also. How about the number 31? No, 31 comes right after 30. It doesn't fit on this little number line, so we have to get rid of that one. And, oh man, okay, so now we have even less numbers to pick from. Now we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're getting close, How about the number 56? Is number 56 bigger than 20? It is bigger than 20. But is it smaller than 30? No, it's not. It's not smaller than 30, so we have to get rid of it. Oh, and don't forget, guys, you can always use the 100 chart. Okay, if you have a 100 chart on you, you can use that to help you out through this whole thing. Okay, so don't forget about those tools that either I provide you or maybe your teacher provided you. Okay, all right. I think we already did 27. That fits, right? And how about 41? Is 41 bigger than 20? It is. But is it smaller than 30? It's not. So it can't fit on this little portion of the number line. So we have to get rid of that one too. And now we're left with these three numbers that fit on the number line. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next clue. Next it says the number is inside a shape with 4 sides. Okay, so this is really going to narrow things down. So how about the number 25? Is this in a shape that has 4 sides? No, it's not. It's a circle. A circle doesn't have 4 different sides. It has one long round side, right? So it can't be a number 25. Okay, how about the number 22? Does 22 have 4 sides? Well, let's check real quick. Okay, we have 1, 2, and 3. Nope, doesn't have 4 sides. Have to get rid of it. And check this out. Now we're left with just one number, but let's make sure that this number fits everything we need. Okay, is it bigger than 20? It sure is. It's 27, it's bigger. Is it smaller than 30? It sure is. And is it in a shape that has 4 sides? Well, let's count them and make sure. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep, it definitely has 4 sides. And there's no other clues that are left. It says, what is the secret number now? Well, our secret number is the number 27. There is no other number that fits everything that they told us to look for. This is the only number that fits. And that's our answer. So we're just going to be using similar strategies throughout the rest of the lesson to solve and figure out some riddles and story problems. All right, so let's go on to the next page, page 386, and let's practice a couple more together. Okay, so here's page 386. All right, I'll circle that at the bottom. See the same girl that was on the last page. And I just want to take a quick second and talk about this little convince me part in this green rectangle. It says, how does making a list help you make sense of a problem? So when you make a list, you can kind of lay out everything you know. So if we talk about that problem we just did, had to be greater than 20 and less than 30, we could actually also make a list of all those numbers to help narrow things down. So greater than 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, right? And 25, 26. I'll stop there. And then as you learn more, you can always cross things off the list that you made. So if they were to say something like, oh, well, yeah, sure, it has to be greater than 20 and less than 30, but also it has a 4 in the ones place. I'm just making this up. So if that was one of the other sentences that we read, well, we would go through each one of these and say, you know what? Does this have a 4 in the ones place? It doesn't. So we can cross it out. And then you can keep going down. Does this have a 4 in the ones place? Nope. And this one doesn't. Oh, this one does. Cool. So we skip it. And this does not have a 4 in the ones place. So we would cross it out. And neither does this one. And then what number would you be left with? The number 24. And then that would be our secret number for this little random situation I made up. So making a list can also be very helpful. I know on the last page I made like a little mini number line to help really show a picture, to help you visualize how we were solving it. That is one way that might help you. But we can also make a list like this and cross numbers out as we go along. Okay? And I'm actually going to show you guys how we can do that with on number 1 right here. Okay? I'm going to pretend they didn't give us the answer. I'm going to pretend so you can see exactly what I'm doing and you can work through this on your own for the next one. So we're going to use this number list up here. So I'm not pulling magic numbers, okay? I'm getting every number from up top. It says, the first sentence says, I am a green number. That is important. That is our first clue. So we are going to go ahead and make a list of every green number that we see up here on this other list, because we're narrowing things down as we work. Okay, so first green number we see is 45. So I'm going to go ahead and write down 45. The next green number is 22. Let's go write 22. After that, we have 57. So I'm going to write 57. All right, and now we read our next sentence. I am greater than 45 and less than 60. So again, we can go ahead and I'm going to make a little bit of space, and we can do our little number line portion that we did beforehand. Make like a little number line. Okay. So on one end, we're going to have the number 45, because we're looking for a number that is bigger. Remember, greater means bigger. Greater than 45. And it has to be less than 60. So it's going to be between 45 and 60. Okay? So we're going to ask ourselves this question, is it between 45 and 60 as we go through each number? So our first number is 45. Is that bigger than 45? No, it's actually the same number. It's not bigger. It's because if we wrote 45 is greater than 45, this wouldn't make sense. We can't write that 45 is greater than itself. We would be pretty confused. We would have to use that new symbol we learned, which is equal to. So 45 is equal to 45 because they're the same number. Okay? So don't let that fool you. Don't let that trick you at all. So 45 is not greater than 45, so that's why we cross it out. Okay? How about 22? Is 22 greater than 45? Nope, it sure isn't. So already we know it's not going to be between these two numbers. Let's check our next one. 57. Is 57 bigger than 45? It is. Is it smaller than 60? It sure is. So this is our secret number. 57. That's how they got that answer, okay? So number 2, I'm going to set you guys up for this one. I'll help you make the list, and then you're going to do this on your own, okay? So it says, I am a blue number. That is our first clue. So first we're going to look over here on our other number list and write down every blue number. So we have 50. That's blue. We have 41. That's a blue number. And 24. Now for this next part, I'm going to read the next sentence to you, and I'll let you try to solve this on your own. So next sentence says, you say my name when you count by tens. So if you were to start at 0 and count by tens, you say this number. Then it says, which number am I? So go ahead and try this one on your own. I'll give you guys a few moments. Okay, so if you're still working, that is totally fine. Hit the space bar, pause the video, okay, and take your time with it. For any friends that are done, we're going to go ahead and continue on with this. So we're going to go through each number and see if we say its name when we count by tens. Okay, so for 50, well, let's think about it real quick. Let's go ahead and count this out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We did say its name when we counted by tens just then. So we're going to leave it alone for now. Let's go to our next number, 41. And let's try counting by tens to check our work. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We didn't say 41. We end up skipping it when we count by tens. So 41 is definitely not one of those numbers. Okay, what about 24? Let's check. 10, 20, 30. No, it's not 24 either, because we don't say that when we count by tens. So the last number is 50. That is our secret number. All right. Okay, so you know what? Let's go on to the next page and just do the first part of number 3 as a little bit more practice, and then I'll have you guys do some independent work. Okay, so now we're on page 387. Now remember, we're only doing the first part of number 3. We are not doing the rest of the page. Okay? That, for my class at least, that will just be homework. So if you're in my classroom, do not finish this page in class. It will be homework. You guys have plenty of other work to do. All right, so let's see what the first sentence says and see what they want us to figure out here. We see that we have a whole bunch of books with numbers on them, and each book also has a name. I'm guessing that is who the book belongs to. So it says the number of pages in my book is less than, so I'm going to underline the word less, and 96. And it's greater than 90. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We can go ahead and make our little picture here real quick, if that helps you. And we have to make sure it's less than 96. So we're going to write that over here, but bigger than 90. So they're trying to switch the order of these two numbers to confuse us. Don't let it confuse you. It's between 90 and 96. So as we go through each one, we're not going to make a big X like this over top, okay? Because you need all of these for your work later on. So what I'm going to do is, if we don't want it, we can make a tiny X next to it, okay? So we'll go through each one and see if that fits. Now, I'm not going to write anything down. I'm going to help you guys go through this, and you can go ahead and make a list as you hear the numbers, okay? So 55, if that fits, write that person's name down. The number 90, if that fits, go ahead and put that person's name down. And we can make a list right here. Make a little imaginary box if you need to, and you can fill it with people's names. That's all you're going to do. Okay. See, 75 here. We have Ben with 75 pages. If that fits, write his name down. Make a list. We have Carla. If Carla with 92 pages, if that fits, write her name down. All right, we have Molly with 82 pages. If that fits, write her name down. All right, now I'm going to read a little bit faster. We have Jay with 95 pages. Lisa with 96. Yao with 48. And Katie with 64. Then we have Peg with 98. So whoever has the pages that are between 90 and 96, go ahead and make your list. And then once you make your list, write their names down on these two lines right here. And I'll give you guys a couple seconds to sort that out. I know there are a lot of names. Alright, so if you're still working, pause the video, please. If you're not still working, we are going to go ahead and start solving this one together. So if you already have your answer written down, make sure you're checking your work along with me. Okay, and I'm going to just put my names in this little list over here. So Greg has 55. That's less than. We don't want that one. We have Joan over here. She's got 90. That's the same as 90. It's not greater, so we don't want that one either. We have Ben with 75. No, still too small of a number. We have Carla with 92. Is that bigger? It is, and it's smaller than 96. So I'm going to add her to my list. Alright, we have Molly with 82. No, that's too small of a number. We have Jay with 95. You know what, that fits in between. Okay, we have Jay, because 95 is just a little bit smaller than 96. We have Lisa with 96. Alright, that's the same as 96. It's not less than or greater, so we have to cross it out. We have Yao at 48. That is way too small of a number. I'm going to cross that one out. We have Katie with 64. That's still way too small. And Peg with 98. 98 is bigger than 96, so we have to cross that out too. So the only two that we have are Carla and Jay. And that's how we just eliminate that. See, I like to use this picture to help me. That's my little method. And then I even made a list to write down everyone that I saw that might fit. And I just got really lucky, and these two fit, and there are two spaces. So we can write down Carla and Jay. Alright, and that's the only part I want to do with you guys, just to kind of prepare you for your homework tonight. I don't want you guys being a little, confused at all when you see like, oh man, we have names and we have numbers and what's going on. I don't want that to confuse you guys. I want that to throw you off. I want to make sure that you're fully prepared. Okay, so we're going to stop there. If you're not in my classroom, then make sure you let your teacher know that you're all done. And for the friends in my class, my students, I'm going to show you the independent work that I have set up for you right now. For our classwork assignment, your independent work, you're going to click on that man in the blue box, then go to classwork. And the first one you're going to do, it just says 9-6 quick check. After the 9-6, there is a letter Q. That'll take you to the SAVVAS website where there is just 3 questions. Next, you're going to go to the 9-6 extra practice. It has a whole bunch of stars, okay? This is going to be your next activity on IXL. I want you to try your best to get 100%. If you get that done also, and you still have time in class, go on Pink Cat and play any math game you like. Alright, and that's it. I hope this video helped, guys. I hope that this wasn't too crazy. I hope that was fun. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.